The Tennessee legislators continue to prove that the GOP has no business in governing. They passed a law today to arm teachers in an effort to prevent gun violence, even though the legislature in Tennessee is all being funded by guns. They don't care about gun violence. This is the same legislature that kicked out the two young black men and the woman that were all Democrats, and the two young black men had to get reelected to get their positions back. This is the GOP that will not listen to their constituents. This is the GOP that's trying to have a complete and total about abortion ban, as well as arming teachers, so there's more opportunity for children to die. I'd like to know how many members of that particular legislature are teachers that are Republicans. I bet you I know the answer. I bet you it's zero. No teacher wants to have a firearm. No teacher wants a firearm in the building. Aside from it being with a police officer, you don't want it around children. The last school I worked at was a school called Emerald Cove Middle School in Wellington, Florida. It was built in 2007. I was one of the first teachers. I was the opening class of teachers in that building in 2007. So I was able to walk around it while it was under construction. And it was about $35 million they spent on that school. It's Florida. And again, it's 2007. It would be almost double that now. And I was able to see the reinforced steel throughout the building, because in between the classes there was steel to support the concrete above. But there was an 11-inch gap in between the steel beams. And they covered that with particle board, and that's what's on the walls of my classroom when I'm teaching. What I'm saying to you is, guns are designed to pierce things, like walls. And particle board is all that I have, or any other teacher generally has, for a wall. So teachers armed means that teachers shooting at the bad guy. Well, cops miss all the time. They did a study of like how many rounds they fired that weren't on target, and it's most of them. So in a situation where there's going to be an active shooter, and most people have not been shot at, most teachers have not been shot at unless they were in the military, how are you going to react? How are you going to react? What happens if in your terror to try and defend your classroom, you hit the assailant but kill 3 children? This is what people are worried about. This is what I'm concerned about. Or like in Texas, where a 3rd grader found the principal's gun in the bathroom because he had put it down when he had washed his hands. So if that 3rd grader picked up the gun and started firing, please don't tell me you don't see this crap all the time. The most consistent thing killing children right now is guns. And this isn't helping. Teachers, we do not want firearms in our classroom. We don't want firearms in our buildings. In 2000, at Lake Worth Middle School, Nathaniel Brazil shot Barry Grunow. It was the last day of school. He was in 8th grade. He got kicked out for throwing water balloons, and he came back and he shot a teacher. That teacher's child was 3 months old. So that teacher's child is now 25 without a dad because gun violence. And after that, my district got serious about active shooters, because just like the Titanic, after the Titanic and all those people drowned, there's enough lifeboats for everyone, right? So after Barry Grunow got shot, and his widow made a lot of money, and justifiably so, the district made sure that we were prepared. I took a class on triage. Triage is taking a look at the wounded and seeing who you could help the fastest and who had the best possibility of survival. The the same time, the GOP in my state won't trust me to teach 1984, The Road to Brigham Pier, or anything along those lines, because they're banned by Ron DeSantis and his cronies. But going back on target, gun metaphor, definitely on target. This is one of the things that people don't talk about. We don't want the weapons. Teachers don't. We don't want them at all. There's too much possibility of us missing and killing children. I'm not a combat veteran. I did not go to the First Persian Gulf War. I'm 53 years old. I did not fire a weapon at anyone in my life, thankfully. And most teachers would fit my description. We don't want guns. In fact, we would like the legislators to do their jobs and make it so that gun violence is as unlikely as getting struck by lightning. The GOP arming teachers because they won't do anything about gun violence, endangering all of your children. Because don't think that accidents won't happen, or don't think an armed teacher wouldn't leave their weapon at their desk or in their purse. And there you have a child with a weapon. It creates too many bad variables. The GOP doesn't care about your children. The GOP doesn't care about women. And it becomes more and more evident every day. Teachers do not want guns in our classrooms. I don't know how I can say this any more directly. And it's a bad idea, and the GOP is going to spread it to other states. We have an obligation to our children to vote these reprehensible human beings out of office.